Come on, girls. Good job, mamas. They know where I'm taking them. So happy that they just choose to follow along. Good job, girls. Good job. Come on, kiddo. Good buddy. Going the wrong way, mister. Going the wrong way. Come here. Come here. Come here, girls. Come on, buddy. Come on, mama. Good job, girls. Good kiddos. Good kiddos. Watch your butt. Watch your butt. Watch your butt. Good boy. Good morning, everybody. How we doing? Let's see what they got for mineral. Still got some salts and still got mineral. We are officially home. I think the last video I did was the steers that were on this back 2.5 acres as they were getting ready to go to the processor. So that's been weeks ago now. What's up, buddy? The steers have officially gone and they are officially back in the freezer. Very happy with what I got. Just like chickens, it is very rewarding and it is a good feeling to be able to fill your freezer. Obviously, we are on the 3-acre lease next door. We came over here second. When I brought the herd home, I was getting ready to go out of town again. So everyone was dumped into the front 2.5 acres up there by the house because I needed a convenient place for them to stay, a secure place for them to stay, while my dad was just, all he had to do was water right up there by the barn. So they grazed that down. Honestly, they were on that for 10 days. The regrowth, just like a lot of the pastures out here, wasn't great because we just haven't had the fall moisture. I was hoping I'd get more than 10 days out of that 2.5 acres, but I did not. And 10 days was just the right amount of time as well too, because that is also going to be where I calve this year. Last year I calved up at the 16-acre lease. No problems with that. I actually enjoyed it, but just the way my summer rotations are going to try and be this year, I'm going to calve up there in the 2.5 acre lease first. I wanted to leave some residual. What's up, mama? Oh, you're looking big. Yeah, good girl. They definitely could have stayed up there longer than 10 days, but like I said, I did not want them to take that down. I want a lot of good residual, both just to help, inevitably the ground is going to be wet and soft and soggy in the spring when they finally get kind of off hay and turn back out into pastures. So I wanted a nice, big, thick mat of turf to be able to stop the pastures from getting beat up, as well as a good amount of long strands of, what will essentially be dry matter, brown grass next spring, left from this winter, because for every bite that they take with the green, lush forage that they're going to be grazing next spring, I want them to get a mouthful of dry matter as well, just to help kind of stop them from getting so loose and runny. So I pulled them off of there. They're back here. I'm hoping to get 20 days out of this, but honestly, I don't know. This had only been grazed once this year. And it was not, I did not mow it after I pulled them off. This had a lot of really good regrowth on it. What's up, mama? The lack of moisture that we had this year in the fall, this actually had a lot of good green on it. So in the middle of summer and in the early fall, September, I would come out here and I was kicking myself for not having run the mower over this after I pulled the cows off of this in the early summer, because it was very stemmy. It seemed very stemmy. It was very long. It was very brown. It just did not look like quality pasture. Whereas the other pastures, that 2.5 acres and the 2.5 acres up there by the house actually had some good, lush, 6 to 8 inch tall grass on it, because it had been grazed down, and then I mowed it after that. So the regrowth was all I was seeing. So it looked really good. However, those pastures did not last me as long as I thought, because there just wasn't as much tonnage on it. Whereas this pasture, I came over after we got a handful of fall rains in October, and it started greening up really, really well. Then they will go, depending on the weather, just that little 1/2 acre meadow on the other side of my 2.5 acre back pasture. I might put them on that. Yeah, really good growth over there, but it's just so small. A lot of work to set up the fencing, because there's only one side permanent fence. So I need 3 sides of temporary electric, and it's not a nice rectangle or a nice square. I have to trace the woods, and it's a lot of work, and I would probably get 3 to 4 days out of that. Now, better for the cows to be on good grass before they start a long winter of hay, but we'll have to see. After that, then they'll finally get turned into this back 2.5 acres, and that obviously is always the plan. They graze that last simply because they have that shelter. And up there by the barn where they access their water, I can run a stock tank heater. So I've been lucky. You know, I have never grazed this lease pasture this late into the season. As you saw, I had to kind of truck water down here with the Ranger. And I do that specifically because I don't want to be breaking tanks every morning, breaking ice every morning in order for the girls to be able to drink. It's a lot more inconvenient to bring water down when it's wet and muddy. We're getting a ton of rain. When it's frozen, you know, I'm driving over pasture, killing grass. I got lucky that it's been a very mild fall. Haven't had a lot of rain, like I said, and the temperatures have not been, Mama, you're just needing attention. The temperatures have not been frozen hardly at all. In fact, we're finally starting to look ahead. We've got just a few more nights of above freezing temps, and then it looks like we're going to start freezing for good after that. It's been an interesting time around here. I think we might have officially switched. This is number 1 in front of me, but I think we might have officially switched herd bosses. Number 2 here might be number 1. There's been a lot of inter-herd fighting that's been going on. And for some reason, number 1 has just been acting very ornery, she's on edge. She's not acting herself. She hasn't been for about a week. And I think a lot of that is because she's kind of been fighting. She's been getting pushed around by these other girls. She might have been displaced, and everyone else is kind of taking a shot at her to see if they can kind of work up higher on the pecking order. She also has been coming into heat, obviously, for a few cycles because she is open. And this is the first time I've seen her actually pursue the other cows to mount them and have her get ridden by them. Normally she goes after, you know, Mac or some of the other steers. But she actually has been seeking out number 3 and number 2 here, which is also a sign of, you know, kind of being the less dominant female. And the other issue we've been having too is, I'll roll some footage that I took a few days ago, but there's been a lot of fighting going on with the little bull calf. He has been challenging everyone, and it's not making it easy for me to decide to actually steer him. I did do a bunch of looking around the neighborhood trying to find a home for him. You know, I wasn't going to sell him right away, but I needed a place to get rid of him because he's obviously going to be viable to start breeding here in a couple months. I've got a lot of open heifers. I've got 1 open cow. And he's just been causing lots of problems. He's been challenging, you know, Mac. He's been trying to mount every female that's been coming into heat. And it's been interesting. A lot of fighting, a lot of growling, a lot of pawing at the ground. Like I said, I like seeing that, being so young. You know, he's got that bull look that I talked about earlier. And he obviously has the testosterone, I guess. He knows he's a big boy, and he knows he needs to be a breeder. So I hate steering him, but I unfortunately think this year I'm just not ready to try and keep a bull. The biggest issue being that, you know, if my calving date was different and we were going into summer, I might be a little more likely to try keeping him intact and seeing how he grows out. But we're going into winter, and the last thing I want is middle of January, middle of February to decide, you know, because I've had a few wrecks. Either he's gotten out, gone in with the neighbors, he's gotten out, gone in with the rest of this herd, or he's just being a pain in the butt on his own. Now it's the middle of February, middle of you know, whatever, and middle of winter, and I have to now find a place to put him or get the vet out here, get him in the handling facilities, get him steered, get him loaded up, take him to the vet, all that stuff. So I'm just not willing to risk it, I guess is what I'm saying for this year. But yeah, so that's it. Just kind of a quick little update. I wonder if number 2, the other thing I was thinking is I wonder if number 2 is just putting off some pheromones. Hopefully it's just those kind of mid-pregnancy, early pregnancy pheromones, and it's not, she didn't lose the calf. Everyone's kind of showing some interest in her. I'm definitely going to have to watch her. They can obviously lose a calf at any moment. So if she perhaps spontaneously aborted for whatever reason, and she's either coming back into heat or they're just kind of smelling that. Yeah. So, all right, guys, that's it. Questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, you know the drill. Leave them down below, and we will talk to you guys later.